In 2008, the World Health Organization confirmed a plant that removes 99% of bacteria from contaminated river water. Cost under $2, grew wild on 6 continents, required no equipment, no electricity, no filter. The report was filed and quietly set aside. The $4.5 billion water filtration industry kept selling Life Straw, Berkey, Brita, Sawyer, replacement cartridges, replacement filters, every year, without fail. The plant seeds itself, grows in dirt. $2 treats hundreds of liters. It cannot be patented. It does not fit a subscription model. So it was buried, not lost, not overlooked, buried. That word carries a different weight. It means someone dug the hole. Its name is Moringa Oleifera, and by the end of this, you will never look at a water filter the same way again.
This is buried blueprints. They built it, then buried it. We dig it up. Every video on this channel surfaces knowledge that was systematically removed from modern life, not because it stopped working, because it worked too well. Subscribe so you won't miss any new discovered blueprint. Let's get into the dig. Layer 1. 1817, Colonial India. A military surgeon named James Kempthorne is watching his men die. Not from combat, from the water. Dysentery, cholera, diseases that move through a regiment silently. The local population walked him into the forest, showed him a tree he had passed 100 times. They crushed the seeds, mixed the powder into the contaminated water, told him to wait. 45 minutes later, the water had visibly changed. 1 hour later, bacterial contamination had dropped by 99%. Kempthorne filed the report in 1819. The British military received it, filed it, left it in a drawer for 160 years. The blueprint was always there. They just buried it. In 1981, Dr. Samia Al-Azaria Yan at the University of Khartoum ran the first controlled scientific analysis of moringa as a water treatment agent. The United Nations published a formal report, 1983. The World Health Organization confirmed the findings, 2008. Both institutions called it the most promising low-cost water treatment solution ever identified. Then, both moved on. The filter industry kept selling.
Layer 2. Here is the mechanism, not the theory, the documented, molecularly understood mechanism. Moringa seeds contain cationic proteins. When dissolved in water, these proteins carry a strong positive electrical charge. Every contaminant in that water, bacteria, viruses, sediment, carries a negative charge. Opposite charges attract immediately, unavoidably. The proteins bind to every contaminant they reach. The bound particles cluster, flocculation. They grow heavy. They sink. What remains above is clean water. This is coagulation and flocculation, the exact mechanism running inside every municipal water treatment plant in the developed world. The difference is what triggers it. Municipal plants use aluminum sulfate, manufactured, shipped, purchased per treatment cycle, generates toxic sludge as a byproduct of every single use. Moringa triggers the identical process, zero chemical residue, zero byproduct, a fraction of a cent per liter. University of Ghana, 2012. Real Volta River water at flood season. Turbidity dropped 98.3%. E. coli fell 99.1%. In 2016, the Journal of Water and Health found moringa outperformed aluminum sulfate with zero detectable chemical residue. The lead researcher called it scientifically remarkable. The paper was published, cited, and never once appeared on a store shelf.
What you just heard is one method, one suppressed solution inside one domain of buried knowledge. The Buried Blueprints Vault holds the rest. Link in the description. One payment, permanently yours. Now, back into the dig.
Layer 3. A $4.5 billion industry does not survive on a single sale. It survives on the return visit. The filter is the entry point. The cartridge is the product. The device without the cartridge is plastic. The cartridge is the revenue stream. That model requires one thing. The problem must never be permanently solved. Moringa permanently solves the problem. Under $2, the tree self-seeds. You cannot patent a protein that predates human civilization. You cannot build a subscription around a plant anyone can grow. EPA certification for a natural water treatment costs a minimum of $3 million. No Moringa farmer has $3 million. No university has a financial incentive to file that application. The only entity with the capital to file it is a corporation that already sells water treatment products. That corporation would be filing for the certification of a product that makes its entire existing range obsolete. No corporation has ever filed that application. No corporation ever will. So the EPA has no record of Moringa as an approved treatment. No retailer stocks it. No survival guide lists it. Every outdoor retailer carrying a $60 life straw has the same UN reports. Any researcher finds them in under 1 hour. They chose the shelf they built, and they chose what stayed off it.
Now the blueprint itself. Dried moringa seeds, available online, under $2. Remove the outer shell, grind the inner kernel to a fine powder. For 1 liter of water, use a 1/4 teaspoon of powder. Mix it into a tablespoon of clean water first to form a paste. This activates the proteins before they enter the contaminated volume. This step is not optional. Stir the paste hard into your contaminated water for 2 full minutes. Slow stir for 5 to 10 minutes. Flocculation has begun. Set the container down. 30 minutes. Watch the sediment fall from the water column to the bottom. The water above clarifies as you watch. Decant the upper 2/3. That water is now 97 to 99% free of biological contamination. Then boil it. Moringa removes the biological load. Boiling eliminates what remains. No filter, no pump, no power, no recurring cost. UN field teams used this across sub-Saharan Africa for 4 decades. $2 of seeds treats more water than any commercial filter at any price.
Every generation before yours knew this. These methods were removed from modern life not because they failed, because they worked, because a population that can purify its own water, grow its own food, and build its own shelter does not need to be sold those things. Moringa was documented in 1819, confirmed by the UN, validated by the WHO, proven superior to synthetic treatment in peer-reviewed research, not in a single mainstream survival guide, not on a single outdoor retailer's shelf, not in any Western military field kit. The UN published it. They buried it anyway. The WHO confirmed it. They buried it anyway. The journals documented it. They buried it anyway. The blueprint was always there. They just buried it. Blueprints don't disappear. They go underground until someone digs.
Subscribe to Buried Blueprints. Every video is another vault opened. The Buried Blueprints vault is in the description. 5 volumes, 1 payment, permanently yours. Subscribe, hit the bell, stay in the dig. The next blueprint surfaces soon. What is buried next goes deeper than this.